Hello, everyone. Dr. Ames here. What I'd like to talk about this time is the benefits of managing diversity and also the benefits of diversity training. So, first of all, one of the things that we can say we get from managing our diversity is that it does attract and retain the best employees. Smart organizations really do seek out the best and most qualified people. It simply makes sense. And in fact, the top organizations are competing for those best people. So we have to be flexible and we have to really know what we're doing and know what we're looking for. Businesses today have to demonstrate to those top employees, those unique, skilled individuals, that they can meet their needs and expectations, that they are something more than just a place to show up and get a paycheck. And we have to remember a few things about diversity while we're doing this, trying to find the best people. 5 out of 6 new employees in the workplace, as we've seen from some of the demographics we've examined, are women or members of a minority group. So research definitely shows us that equal and fair treatment for everyone is the best way to retain people because it is much more expensive to replace employees than to simply engage with the ones that you already have. Now, this certainly means that just in that area alone, we can reduce our costs. Turnover costs are lower if we can retain the best people. I think the latest figures I heard from Walmart was that it costs about $3,500 to replace a regular rank and file worker. That's because of the training they have to pay them while they're not productive, and all the other time that they spend in orientation and becoming acclimated to the company. Um, Percentages of employees who change job frequently has been higher for women rather than men, and this is regardless of ethnicity. So women are changing jobs more often than men, and they are the largest force entering the workforce. So there is some transition going on that does not help us save money when we have this constant coming and going of employees. And sometimes some of the reasons women leave are because they are victims of a hostile workplace or all sorts of things like that. That costs company money, time, and so forth. Um, so the way to do this is to embrace diversity, is to treat people fairly, and you will have fewer employee-related costs overall because you are reducing costs, you're retaining people. Um, and so it can range though, even though Walmart says it's around $3,500 for them, some companies are paying up to thousands of dollars more to retrain and get people that fit their company culture, depending on their industry and so forth. Now, definitely we get an improved flexibility out of all this if we manage our diversity right. We will make better strategic alliances, for instance. When we put our committees together and so forth, we're going to get better ideas and so forth, and we're going to be more flexible, and we're going to see things and hear things that we normally wouldn't have got if we were all the same. So one thing that does happen is diversity in your organization attracts more diversity. Other diverse people find out about these companies, the best companies that are more interested in the quality of a person's skills and their work and their ability to fit into that culture than anything silly like what ethnicity are they. So better organizational flexibility means good, strong innovation in the industries where you need it and creativity when you need it from people. So managing diversity is going to attract and retain not just your employees, but it's also going to have an effect on your customers and the people that you work with alliances, your suppliers. You'll make better connections with more diverse customers if you have a diverse workforce. Again, diversity attracts diversity. Um, Understanding diversity does help us a whole lot. If we're culturally savvy, then those same techniques that help us communicate on an individual level help businesses work together with other businesses and create strategic ventures and so forth. This leads us to gain greater market share and so forth. All we have to do is look at the various purchasing powers possessed by the various ethnic groups to know how to go about gaining greater market share. So that is about diversity as well. And so there are tables in our textbook that talk quite a bit about the purchasing power and so forth. But there is $14 trillion of purchasing power combined for all minority groups as of about 2010. Women alone have $10 trillion in purchasing power. So managing diversity does other things besides help us to be successful in business in these different ways. It improves us as managers and administrators. It really does. Diversity and working with people who are different makes us all better. It raises the skill level of managers and it raises their empathy levels, most certainly. And when it comes to problem solving and creativity, like I've mentioned, when we have diverse teams, we get more ideas generated, we get better and more diverse ideas, different ideas. We do get the creativity finding itself because we're trying to actually foster it. Now, when it comes to providing diversity training, this is one of the smartest things that we can do in business is to be able to get people to understand and work with each other better. So it does improve our overall quality of management. It is about recognizing people as individuals who are members of maybe particular groups with a certain heritage and so forth. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have our heritage and our groups we belong to and so forth. But we do want to connect with people on that individual level, and we've got to go beyond these surface differences in doing that. So some of the benefits of training in our organization is also teaching ourselves to work together, learning about some of the best methods and practices of how to be sensitive and treat people with respect. Um, a good example of that is understanding what microaggressions are, for instance, and showing people this is a microaggression. These are things that people do unintentionally that really do hurt feelings and really continue this notion that we're not very sensitive and we're not respecting each other. So that is one way we could do it. At the end of the day, though, we really see that this is about learning to communicate again. This is about human relations and taking it to the best level that we can. Okay, folks, that's all I wanted to talk about this time. I'll talk to you again soon.